All right. And there we go. We should be good. Keith, how you doing? Welcome in. There's a little bit of a sound issue just for a split second, but we're good. We are chilling with it. All right, let's see. What we got on the agenda today, we're going to dive deeply into the world building section. We started it last time, so now I do want to focus a little more on it. But we also have a couple things to check out on the Discord. All right. So, we're going to let this one load. Oh, whoops, I put a lot. No worries. We're going to... There we go. Hold up. I just need to check one thing real quick. Okay, yeah, we should be good. Essentially, the idea is that we're not going to go through every single thing you put, just for like sake of time-wise, but we will get through it over time, if that makes sense. So, like, every stream will go over like 2 or 3. I kind of want to do like the first hour essentially is a bunch of homebrew review, and then we get into like whatever else we have on the agenda. I realize I still have this screen on, so I can take that out. We're discovering a single class called the Cultist. That could sound cool. Classes are really hard to review for the simple fact, unless you mean subclass. Subclass is really easy because it's built off like a class's identity, so you know what the structure of how it's supposed to work. But all right, hold up. Let's see what we got right here. Oh yeah, this is a full class. But I think the best thing is to, because like if you put a lot in one of them's in your priority, I think you could be like, if you're on stream, be like, hey, this thing, you know, these 2 things, I want to put high in my priority, so you go over them first, in case you need them for like next session or something. So yeah, that's kind of the main idea. But yeah, we could definitely cover this Cultist and check it out. Which we will... Oh wait, there is something I can do. Go for it. Let's see, I'm also grabbing a second. Okay. I just gotta put my phone in the charger. Alright, there we go. Alright. So when we do get to this world, and we're going to lore build, what we have to do before we get into the individual towns is focus on the overlying structure of everything we want to do. So, I'm going to put a little tab somewhere. I don't want to put it, let's just put it at the top over here. This is going to be main themes about the world. Essentially, this is going to be where we're going to write the main deciding factors of what we're choosing to go on. That's going to help us guide every smaller detail around the map. It'll make it easier to review. Sounds good. Let me know when it's ready. I could check out some other stuff. So I could check out like one other thing. I'll see if there's something. Shit, where did it go? There we go. Subclass. I'll see if there's something that's not a subclass. All right, spells. We could do a spell real quick. I also divided to divvy up like, so in the list of like, let's pull up the old OneNote. No thanks. Okay, so oh, I need to increase the size tremendously. Okay, so when we have homebrew review, so far I know we essentially have classes, subclasses, spells, backgrounds, items. I don't know if there's anything else that I'm just blanking on. However, I think the main thing is that like some of them take a lot of time and it's like really long to. Oh, there's like characters, so NPCs. Some of them can take a lot of time, so I think the best way to keep it productive for everyone, in a sense that I could try to get to everyone's stuff, is like capping out how many of these I do. So like if I do a subclass, I'll try to jump to like a spell or a background or an item. Things that are really quick versus things that are really long to cover. That way I don't want anyone to feel like I'm rushing through their class or their subclass because I'm trying to get to everyone else's stuff. So in general, if somebody makes one of these, odds are it's going to get covered a lot easier. Because I can dish out like 5 of these by the time it takes me to do one of these. To an extent. But that's not to say don't do what you want. Like, even if you make 100 subclasses, I will get to them eventually. It'll just take time. So that's kind of the main thing. But yeah. So let's check out this spell. I'm gonna copy and paste this, put it here. Alright, so Necromancy cantrip, casting time is 1 action. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because I think I messed it up a little bit. There we go. Cool. So, casting time is 1 action, range of 30 feet. Components is verbal, somatic, and material. Fragment of a bone worth 1 copper piece, which the spell consumes, which if you have your arcane focus, it'll just do it. And it lasts for 2 rounds. A small circle dripping with dark magic forms at your finger. Make a ranged spell attack against a target. On a hit, the target is at maximum hit points. The target's maximum hit points is reduced by 1d12. I assume this is 1d12 instead of 1d2. Or else it deduces it by 1. At higher levels, the spell effect increases to 1d12 or 1 when you reach 5th level, 2d12 or 2, 3d2 and 3, and 4. Okay, so it goes up in scaling. No 1d2? Okay, got it. Permanently reduces their HP. Got you. Okay. That makes more sense. I thought it was temporary, and I was saying 1d2 is a little too low, but if it's permanent, that's crazy. Honestly, I don't really think this is a bad idea. You balanced it to 1d2, which is really good. Even at 17th level where they're crazy powerful. reducing it by 4 is not a big deal. But I think players have not played enough with the idea of reducing their max HP permanently, which I really like to do with certain diseases if they've contracted, which can make the environment be a little more of like a factor in your game. Like, for example, they were in a pirate campaign and they went to this more tropical forest, and one of them contracted a disease, permanently got their move speed reduced by half. But it was bad. They also rolled an out 1 on the disease, so that's why it was half. Usually it just reduces it by 5. But they did lose 5 maximum HP, which is just kind of a cool, nice thing. Also, money components never get substituted. Yes, you are correct. Sorry. So there is... You are correct in that fact. World theme idea fracturing. Culture, faith, region, stability. Are you saying that there's something called the fracturing, like it's an event, or... But yes, you are correct. 1 copper piece that it will cost them. I mean, no, it is a cantrip. Copper piece isn't really that expensive. If you really, really wanted to make it balanced, to, quote unquote, to make the players like not ever get angry, you could make it that you do damage with it and then they make a saving throw or get their hit points reduced. So you could still do damage on the side as well. And that could be kind of cool too. That's probably how, like, if I was a player going against this, I would find that as extremely fair and generous. So I would say that's probably my review personally on it. So overall review, chat is hiding me typing it, but you'll be able to see it. Here we go. Overall review, add damage to the hit, make the loss of HP a saving throw. Done optimizing it into a single dock. All right, sounds good. I assume this is it right here. Yep. All right. Yeah, this is fairly long, but the beginning is always a very generic setup. So we won't go over the table. The table's always the same. It's good that you have it there. But a cultist is a devoted follower to great evils of the world, rewarded with powers for their evil deeds. They feed on the poor and those societies fail to notice, sacrificing them for their cause and allowing their cult to become even more powerful the more people turn a blind eye. Most cultists disguise themselves as wizards, clerics, warlocks, or sorcerers, only to hide what they truly are. So, for your class features, your hit dice is 1d4. That is very, very low. That is how old wizard used to be, and it got moved to a d6 because 1d4 is really brutally low. So I would personally say 1d6 should be the minimum. I would increase that because they will ideally, and it's like the way it makes sense is no one should be squishier than a wizard, if that kind of makes sense. It sounds messed up, but since wizards are just straight up super powerful, they would the health is supposed to be their balancing factor, so I would put it at a d6. Well, once the other features are read. Gotcha. We'll read them out. But in general, it's like you would have to make, like, the issue is you would have to make the features really, really strong to help offset the very low health, which might mean that your features might be too strong. But we'll check it out. Light armor, daggers, weapons, pretty much simple weapons. Calligrapher supplies, Cartographer, disguise guide. Okay, intelligence, charisma. Alright, equipment is exactly as most are. Get a cult book, which is kind of referencing. Factoring, as in the world would have been at peace for a good number of decades, but won't remain stable for long. The more in-game time is spent wasted, the closer the regions drift to open warfare. Oh. Okay, so essentially, we'll put this as a pin real quick. Fracturing. For now, it's essentially a time check mechanic. It's essentially something that if the players are taking too long, things are going to happen. I realized that for the stream for you guys on this stuff, it looks really slow. I think it's because I don't have hardware acceleration on. So I'm going to go turn that on real quick. Well, it does its thing. There you go. Cultist devotion is what powers their magic. They prove their devotion by hurting themselves or others around them and even following the demands of their leader. Okay. Does it say what their... Okay, it's intelligence right here. Cool. First level, you know one cantrip of your choice. You learn an additional cantrip at higher levels as shown in the column. You can prepare amount of spells as listed in the table. Instead of gaining spell slots through rest, the cultist instead gains favors from the being it serves, I assume. By simply killing creatures that are of good alignments, you gain points equal to their CR multiplied by 2, rating minimum of 1, or their level multiplied by 4. This does force the player to be relatively evil. And that can only work if all the players are also down to be evil. If that makes sense. One thing you could do to offset it if you wanted is instead of writing good alignment, you can say opposite alignment, right? So if someone is technically a cultist for like one of the light side of gods, like one of the heavens, that could be like, okay, like they go kill demons, but they're still a cultist for the light, if that makes sense. Well, the cultist was designed to be hidden. Got you. It's just something that like always had, like in D&D, they realize it's really hard to force someone to have to do evil things rather than them choosing to do evil stuff, just because the rest of the party might clash with it, if that makes sense. So the cultists could hide within the party. They can, but if they have to kill people to regain their spell slots, it's gonna get caught on really quick, even if like other players see it at a game, if that makes sense. If you have really good players, they won't metagame it. If you have really bad players, they will metagame it. What I would probably do is to get their spell slots back, they have to gain... Oh, you can also gain favor by harming yourself, taking 1 minute to sap your blood and dealing damage equal to your level. You gain 1 favor. Okay, so you can harm yourself to get favor to get your spell slots back. You only gain up to your level divided by 2, multiplied by your charisma score divided by 5 rounded up. This is this is a lot of math. So you gain up to your level divided by 2, rounded up, multiplied by your charisma score, and then all of that divided by 5 rounded up. Let me know if I got that one correct. When casting a spell, you use the spell level as... No? Okay. I may be slightly confused. When casting a spell, use the spell level as the amount of points needed to cast that spell. For example, if you want to cast Power Word Kill, you would use 9 points. If you had 15 charisma score and a level 18 cultist, you have a total of 27 points, allowing you to cast Power Word Kill 3 times if you have maximum favor. It's like level divided by half times charisma divided by 5. Oh, okay. Got you. So hypothetically at max level, if it's your level by half, that's 10. 20 by 5, 4. So you would have 40 points. Charisma score. Yeah. Assuming your charisma score is 20 divided by 5, that'd be 4. And then times 10, I would assume at max level you should have 40 points. Ritual casting, you can use... yeah, this is pretty standard. When casting a spell to attack a creature, you may roll a 1d20. If the dice roll is less or equal to your level, you mark the target with a symbol that only you can see. When you hit the target with an attack, you heal for 2d4, 2d2 for spell hit points. It's kind of like a lifesteal mechanic. I actually do like this a lot. This is really cool. Yeah, this sounds solid for Soul Marker. I like that. Cultist Sect. So I assume these are the subclasses. You choose the type of asylum your chaotic nature grants you. Your choice grants you features at first level and again at 3rd, 11th, and 16th. Yes, that is the balance for the low HP. It's in the right idea, but it is also very, very insanely powerful to be able to cast Powered Kill like 4 times. In like one bite, if that makes sense. I would say it is more stable for your game if you bump up their health but reduce their spellcasting power. Like in a sense, the thing that like is really, really difficult in D&D is you need to essentially respect where all the other classes are in terms of power, because if somebody can cast better than a... let's see... Oh my god, they changed everything. Oh, actually, we're good. So, if someone has better spellcasting than the 3 primary ones, which are like Wizard, Warlock, and Sorcerer, it kind of undermines their power to an extent, and like what makes them special. They kind of live in a good trinity right now, because Warlocks kind of get these like permanent buffs. Oh, this music just got really loud. Give me 1 second, I'm skipping. Warlocks kind of get their permanent buffs with their Eldritch Invocations, which make them really special in that sense. Sorcerers are really strong in combat because they have their sorcery points. And then Wizards just have the most amount of spells that they can know, so they're very good utility. So the only issue is that if somebody can easily like essentially clap all the other classes in Magic, you would not have anyone want to play these classes, if that makes sense. What you want to aim to do is find a unique way they do their spellcasting while not putting them so above everybody else, if that makes sense. If you want, but when you have really good ideas like this, what you do is you make them items. Because items can be taken away, they can be consumed, they can be broken. So items are your best way to grab your ideas that are really powerful, but you don't put it to a class, so it's not guaranteed everybody gets it, and it's not guaranteed they can use it, if that makes sense. So, in that sense, with what I've explained, I would reduce this, but you could easily put an item that allows the cultist to get this powerful. That way, in a campaign where you decide that they are at that level of power, you can easily just add it in. But if it's a campaign where you see everybody else is kind of playing more simple characters that aren't seeking like reality-breaking powers, then you could keep that away and keep everyone in the same realm. Okay, so if I put it at 4 divisible of level, that way it's more fair. Probably, yeah, that's a good start. So if it's like hypothetically their level divided by 4, so 4th of their level, it would be a max of 5, right? Yeah, them casting 2 9th level spells is very powerful, but it's not like insanely game breaking to an extent. I've had plenty of campaigns where we've essentially given our mages like a item that would let them cast 2 9th level spells in a long rest, and it didn't break the game or anything like that. Now, so what I would do is do that exactly as you said, make it divisible by 4, and then make an item that allows it to be divisible by half. That way, if you want your player to get insanely strong and everybody else is also getting to that level, you can just hand it right to them. Plus, they would need to kill a lot or sacrifice a lot of HP, which they don't have. That was going to be my second point, which was to rework that system in a sense. Off the top of my head right now in the moment, I can't tell you what exactly is a good replacement, but I have seen a DM try the idea of you essentially having to collect souls to get your spell slots back and everything, and it very much derailed the campaign pretty hard, and he ended up having to pretty much remove that class. And this is the reason why. The HP was intended to be low, so the sacrifice would hurt a lot. Well, so here's the issue. The thing about D&D is you have your group of friends that want to play the game. And if you're very fortunate, in the 7 days, you can play 1 day a week. On average, most D&D campaigns function as a weekly campaign that goes for about 4 hours. This is the average D&D sort of scenario. It's 1 day a week on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday. You all meet together, you play for around 4 hours, and that's like your weekly session. A lot of times, especially if it's online, the schedule's very janky. Sometimes it's a bi-weekly, but it could be longer, right? Let's say it's 6 hours. The point is you have these days where the players are looking forward to playing the game. When you finally get to play the game and you have your allotted time, whether that's 4 hours, 6 hours, or let's say you're crazy and going for like 12 hours, certain mechanics that you thought would be really fun, you realize are going to take up a lot of time in your campaign. And so you have 2 options. Option 1 is you keep the mechanic. Let me increase the size. Keep mechanic, which means you need to roleplay. You need to roleplay it happening pretty much, which takes up time and causes other players to be uninterested. And this is what I usually found, is at some point after the like 10th time of them having to collect souls in that one case, most people are kind of rolling their eyes and being like, hey, I was looking forward to playing D&D this week. We only have 4 hours, and 30 minutes of this session was this person having to like go execute some townsfolk. The other option is you understand it takes up a lot of time, and what you end up doing is I need to, I guess, copy paste here. You end up simming it, which is just saying it happened with rolling or skip or guaranteeing success. Oh my god, I spelled that so wrong. Oh my god. You guys are about to see some pretty bad spelling. There we go. Or guaranteeing success. So what ends up happening, nothing is that you either keep this as a mechanic, and every time there's a long rest, you're gonna have to roleplay your cultists going out, killing X amount of people, whether they get involved by guards or whether something goes wrong and now they need to make roll rolls. And what you've done is you've essentially isolated all the other players to sit and wait while this person does it. The ability was for when you were in combat. I did think about that, and that's why there was an option to harm yourself. Oh, okay. I mean, that is a good counterpoint in the fact of harming themselves to do that. But what happens if your player decides to not harm themselves and decides to start, hey, I want to go kill people in this long rest so I can get my thing back. I don't want to harm myself. You'll still have to be prepared to do one of these two. And if your player, he or she finds out that you will sim it, like you're willing to sim it, then they're probably incentivized to not harm themselves and instead say, hey DM, I'm gonna go kill 10 people, and you can say, hey, okay, roll like a d10 to see how many souls you get, or okay, hey, you get it. So that's 100% an issue that can happen. Not true. Yeah, so I'm with you on the fact of, like, I've been down this road before of I've created a mechanic and I'm like, oh yeah, it's either like you collect the souls in combat or you're gonna harm yourself. And then I've had enough experience in enough cases where the player's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. All right, I'm just gonna go kill people, and if you don't let me do this in D&D, then I'm gonna be out of spell slots, I guess. So you got to kind of be prepared when your player plays it like a degenerate, essentially, and decides to simplify the mechanics into one thing and say, yeah, I'm not even going to do the other option. It happens a lot. So, I mean, if that's something you're willing to keep, 100%, just think about what you would do in that situation. That is the other thing you would have to do. First glance in the moment, I can't tell you what would be a good one. I have to restart for hardware acceleration. Where is it? There we go. Okay, relaunch. Okay. We should be good here. Everything's relaunching. Give me a second. I'm sorry. There we go. All right. But yeah, I hope that kind of explained it in a sense of just what could be a situation you would have to think about. Let's go through the rest of it though. Roll a 1 and you just disappear. That'd be so awful. They would not touch this campaign or the class. I made like I made a special set of dice once, and the idea of this dice set was it was 6 d6s, and the idea is it's Fate's dice, right? And what ended up happening is when you rolled and you got certain numbers, it gave you different variety of buffs based on the list that I had. And if you rolled like a copy, then you got a more powerful effect of that buff. So for example, the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all had their different buffs, but let's say this one's a 2 and this one's a 2, you get like a stronger effect of 2. If you rolled all 6s, you got the max set of every buff, which was really powerful. For 1 minute, you were literally the strongest thing ever. But if you got all 1s, you immediately died, and you sacrifice your soul. And the dice wins at the end. And players would not touch it for that one simple fact of this one is a possibility. They said, nope, I am not going to do this, ever. I don't care if it's a very small chance. I don't care if you have an equal chance to become literally the most powerful character for a minute, but nope. Yeah. Time for percentage dice just to make them not come back alive. If they do a 1, simming it will not be fun. If they are unlucky enough to roll a 1 and just disappear, everyone's confused. Yeah. It just feels awful. Like if you have to roll a dice and it could just like remove your character like that, it would feel really, really sucky. However, there are some situations a player can put themselves in that voluntarily, and in that case, it's on them. Alright, so we read Soul Marker. I really liked Soul Marker. Slave to Darkness. At level 3, when you take a short or long rest, the DM may decide to give you a quest from your master. The DM will decide the favor it gives and the contents of that quest. The quest may be possible and have a date and time it should be completed by. While on this quest, the cultist is immune to all forms of detection magic, but not all physical means. Upon a failure of the quest, the cultist's hit points lower by the amount equal to the favor it would have received for 1d4. Oh, this is a big penalty on that. So, here's something that's really cool about this that you made, is it's what I wish like DMs would do more with patrons. I feel like a lot of DMs are pretty afraid to make their patrons force something on the character. And I do like the idea of do this or there is a penalty. You are going to have lower health. And I feel like a lot of DMs are really quick to jump the gun of, hey, you know what, the patron just takes away your power and you lost all your thing. Which is another argument in itself of whether or not a patron can take a warlock's power away. But regardless of the fact, it's kind of this like 0 to 100 scale. And so I really encourage DMs to make your patron pretty demanding on your warlock for some things, and think about the degrees of punishment that you want to put on that warlock, what it could be. And yeah, taking away max HP, it could 100% be it. They are evil after all. Yes, they are. So, I think this is really nice. At first, I was gonna say that when you have something that, like when you have a feature that's not active at all times, usually put another feature with it to kind of balance it out. But the fact that they are immune to all forms of detection magic is really strong. So, I mean, it balances it out. These are ASIs. They should be exactly the same, which they are. Okay, so beginning at 5th level, you get extra attack. That's pretty cool. Soul Eater. Beginning at 7th level, you may temporarily enhance your marks that you have currently activated. Spending 1 favor, you may heal an additional. This is really cool. It increases your damage from attacking those marked by your level amount. This lasts for 1 round. I really like this one. I like the idea of essentially tethering to the mark and amplifying it. That's very cool. That is a solid idea. Starting at level 9, when you're landing a killing blow, you may instead knock them unconscious and stabilize them using your bonus action. I do this normally. And I've seen well, I don't want to say every DM, but I've seen 9 out of 10 DMs I've played with also do this rule of like, you can declare non-fatal attack when you're going to kill someone, because some people will play characters that like, hey, my character will fight, but they will not kill, essentially. And so it's like, if I happen to do the last 10 damage with my quarterstaff or something, I wouldn't have killed them. I would have knocked them unconscious. So, I do this normally, but I think what you could do with the idea of a ritual sacrifice is that if somebody does this, perhaps they get a pretty generous amount of the favor points, right? So it's like, if someone happens to kill like 5 people to get a fatal point, or they do 1 sacrifice, which gives them 5 favor points. That could be cool. So for preparing sacrifice, I would put it that it grants you a pretty generous amount of favors. However, it requires you to knock someone unconscious, take them to a shrine or some kind of like ritual stone and sacrifice them there. It was used to knock them and sacrifice them to their master. Okay. I mean, so that's the thing that, yeah, I guess that could work too. I mean, that's also an option. If you want to do it immediately. Starting at level 14, if you have seen an enemy creature use an attack, you may remember... Oh, the only thing I would say then, to prepare yourself and think about, is what happens in the situation that someone tries to bring that person back to life immediately, like with Revivify or something. So that's for you to decide. Do they make a check? Do they immediately succeed? Is it in their domain and they can't retrieve it? Just think about that. Starting at 14th level for Whispering Prayers, if you have seen an enemy creature use an attack, you may remember and save that attack for later. As an action, you may use the attack you remember seeing once. Once that is used, you might not use the ability again until a long rest. In addition, you also lose the ability to remember. to I assume the attack you've seen. So I assume you can only use this once. This is cool. I do like this. Kind of like a one-time, hey, you saw something cool get used, you can use it once, but then never do it again. It kind of lets them know, hey, which ones am I going to keep track of? I would say make them do an intelligence check to see if they could learn it in the first place. That could be a good idea to kind of bounce it out. Saving up a dragon's magic deck. Yeah. So, I mean, because it's an intelligence-based class, I would say, like, you can use a bonus action or you can use this feature to, like, attempt to study an action you've seen. And so make an intelligence check. If you succeed whatever DC, and you can set that DC based on how hard it is, then you can learn it, and you could use that whatever you want. I always go with, you're using blunt, sure. You're using non-blunt, the declared enemy will be making a death save. And that's a very realistic sense if you want to as well. It's like, hey, if you didn't want to kill the person, don't use the sword, right? Like, that's obviously going to stab them. And I've used that in some cases. Like, I've had people throw out a fireball and they're like, oh, hey, like, I wouldn't have wanted to kill them with that. It's like, I mean, you threw a fireball. Like, that's not exactly selective. The only thing I could see someone being able to make an argument for is if you are a evocation wizard, because they have the ability to, like, essentially control where the spell goes. Am I not signed in? I am not signed in. Give me 1 second. So yeah. There we go. Because I believe that is evocation's main thing, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can create pockets of relatively safety without the effect of your spell. So yeah, I could argue that one for them. But yes, Keith, very good idea. I mean, it also keeps track of people's weapons, what they're using, lets them be smart with it. Okay. Shadows of Darkness. Level 19, you may attempt to use your favorite to temporarily allow your master to inhabit your shadows. Your shadow to aid you in battle. You may choose to do one of the following with a saving throw of 14 plus your proficiency bonus. Stab, you can do so maximum of 16 plus charisma plus proficiency. That's not bad. Restrain and slow the target by 10 feet per turn. Mark your shadow. Yeah, this is pretty fine. This is good. All these spells, they're very long. I will skip the spells for obvious reasons. Okay, I'm really glad you did not give them Wish. That part is very good. I was gonna say, as far as spellcasting goes, it's meant to be, like, really unique to wizards and sorcerers, and you could do it as a genie warlock, but that part is good. But these spells are pretty fine. All right. Now we get into the sex. So for your subclasses, which I think we will cover the subclasses as if they are homebrew subclasses, kind of in their own time, kind of jump back, check out a subclass, and then do that, and then check out some other stuff right now. So this is not completed, so I'm not going to mark it. Let's check out some other stuff. Hide injuries. Let's grab this, put it in the OneNote. I like the subclasses, especially the heretic one. It does sound exciting. Okay, let me increase the fonts right here. Oh, not that high. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. It's like the cultist who said, I don't want to be bad. That's actually a really cool idea. Like, a heretic of an evil class is actually just the good guy. So they're just trying to be great. But they're called a heretic as far as the bad sect goes. That's pretty funny. Okay, so... let's see. This is a 5th level illusion spell. Casting time is 1 action. 60 feet, component, verbal, somatic, material. This does have a material cost, so it is 5 gold pieces, and the duration is 1 hour. Magapith, it is going great. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. The targeted creature feels fine, even if they are not fine. They are unable to tell if they are bloodied or if they are hurt even a bit. To other creatures, they appear as if they are completely fine. While like this, they ignore the following conditions: frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, stunned, or exhaustion. They have any less than half or have the following effects: poison, stun, exhaustion. They take 1d4 force damage and can't be reduced in any way per 5 feet they have moved. Okay, so let me read this back. They have any less than half or have the following effects. Okay, so if they have these effects, they take damage as they move. In addition, the target's HP is now calculated and controlled by the DM in secret. While they are in this state, if they drop to 0 HP, they will not fall unconscious. Instead, the DM will roll a death save in secret. If they are hit during this, it counts as a death fail. 2 on a crit, and the creature has 3 death saves. Okay. Oops, I forgot hit points. No worries. I'm doing good. What are we talking about? We are doing some homebrew review, so nothing has made some spells. We just covered a class he made. So we'll get into subclasses on another stream, but now we're just covering a spell he's made. We do have a Discord where everybody kind of posts their homebrew creations that we can review on stream for like the first hour or so. And then next on the stream, we do have some world building that we're going to jump into. This is a map we have been making together as a stream, so stay tuned for that. So, I mean, yeah, this is pretty straightforward, because like the idea is that it doesn't take away damage, it just makes them look fine. It's an illusion spell. It is 5th level, so it's not like they can cast it easily. And I do like the idea that the players don't know the health of the character. Overall, I do like this. The only thing you should make is like typically when people have illusion spells, they can do like an Arcana check to essentially see through it. You should instead make it a medicine check. So if somebody makes a medicine check and they can determine that something is actually injured, then they can see through the illusion. And that can be a cool thing for like a healer. So yeah, other than that, I do like this. So back over here. Overall review. Great spell. Allow a medicine check to see through the illusion. And they would have to roll against like that person's spell save DC, which is how they usually work. With that. All right. Oh, did I do the wrong one? Oh no, I did the wrong one. Oh, no. I'm good. Okay. We will check out Weakening, and then we will jump into our world building section. It is 12 o'clock, so it's been an Once I don't think Fern's here. If Fern was here, I would have covered his thing. So let's see if he's here. But for now, let's check out this one final spell. Oh wait, I've already checked out weakening. I'm very dumb. Yeah. Set it this one. Fern is here. All right, awesome. Fern, welcome. Let's check out what you got. All right, Eldrin Storm. Very nice night. You checked out weakening already? Not soul tag. Soul tag. Oh, here it is. All right, well, you'll check out both of these. Sounds good. Increase the size. All right, let's check out Eldrin Storm, and then we'll check out Soul Tag. All right, 8th level spell, casting time 5 actions. Oh my goodness, 5 actions, but it can't be casted as a ritual. It is a sight of 1,000 feet. Verbal, somatic, and material. It's 1 minute. Conjuration, dex save, lightning. So, provided you are outside, you cause a massive storm of whippling winds and elemental violence to form from a point you can see. The magical... I can't pronounce that word. I am so sorry. I'm not even gonna try it. But the magical storm appears as a 1,000-foot radius cylinder that is 2,000 feet tall. Under the cloud, fog and rain are created by the storm, lightly obscuring the area and extinguishes all open and closed flames. Whipping winds and sheets of rain make the area under the cloud into difficult terrain, and all range attacks made with projectiles weighing less than 60 pounds are impossible. Spell might be a bit OP, so I tried to balance it by making it 5 actions. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, honestly. And range attacks made with projectiles weighing less than 500 pounds are made with disadvantage. Under that same area, finally, a gust of strong wind ranging from 20 to 40 miles automatically disperse fog, mist, and similar phenomena in the area, whether mundane or magical. As a bonus action on your turn, after casting a spell, you can change the storm's heightened property to one of the followings. You can only have one heightened property active at a time, and they affect a whole no area than 5,000 feet below the cloud. Once you activate a heightened property, you cannot use the same effect again until you use a different property or the spell ends. Okay, so you kind of got to go through a rotation of all of them. Makes sense. All right, so electrical storms is 1d4 -1 bolts of lightning flash down from the cloud any point you can see below you. Each creature within 10 feet of the lightning bolts must make a dex save, or they take 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much. On each of your turns until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action to call down another lightning bolt this way, targeting the same point or a different one. Flammable objects that aren't being worn, I assume, are going to be ignited. And a creature in the area of more than one of these bolts can be affected only once. No, this is really good. I don't think that's broken at all. Thunder Spoon, whether a creature ends its turn there, it must succeed on a con saving throw or take 2d4 thunder damage and be deafened until its turn ends. All objects made of glass or crystal take 4d4 plus 4 on initiative round 20 while this effect is active. That's cool. Healing Vortex. Heal pummels the ground in the area, dealing 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. A medium or small creature that takes this damage must also make a strength save or be knocked prone and take 1d6. Objects that are not being worn or carried within the area of the storm take bludgeoning damage at the start of each of your turns. And finally, Hurricane. The churning winds of the storm spin it into a vicious death spiral that tear up debris and dust before sending them flying away. Sounds almost like Storm of Vengeance. It's very close to it, actually, yeah. Hurricane's a 15-foot cylinder. At the start of each turn, you can move it 50 feet. Creature comes in 30 feet of it. They are assaulted by flying shrapnel. Oh my god. That is horrifying. They take dex saving throw, take 1d6 and be pulled. If it starts its turn, then it takes 2d8 slashing and succeed on a con or be blinded. Burning Incest worth at least 50 gold. bit of earth and wood, and a blue pearl with 500. If it is casted as a ritual, it also requires wear chalk candles and powder dung worth of 500. So it goes up to 1,000 gold, pretty much. Oh, well, actually, 1,050. Honestly, I would up the damage on this. You were saying that you were afraid that this is a bit OP. It's not OP enough. Because if they have to spend 500 gold to do it, it's an 8th level spell and it takes 5 actions. This should, like, realistically be the most powerful 8th level spell you can find. So, I would... nothing brought up Storm of Vengeance. You could easily look at that as a reference for damage, at least. Storm of Vengeance is a 9th level spell, so you would want to make it like slightly weaker. But the lightning is 10d6 on that one. I think even Storm of Vengeance is honestly pretty underwhelming in its damage for being a 9th level spell, but I would personally definitely up the damage. But other than that, it is good. If you don't want to up the damage, then you could actually just reduce the action to probably immediate. I just note that other 8th level spells and Storm of Vengeance is pretty low damage and control. Yeah, it's something I don't agree with, but the thing is, you can find inconsistencies in spell damage because I believe Sunburst is 8th level. Yeah, Sunburst is 8th level, and that does 12d, so it can do potentially 60 damage and blind them. You also have Tsunami, which I believe does a lot of damage. Tsunami does 60 damage, and it throws them back by 50 feet. So it's kind of around 60 damage for 8th level spells. So feel free to adjust accordingly. I do understand, and it's good to keep in mind that repeated spells that you can do as a bonus action should obviously be weaker than like a one-time damage spell. Sorry, Magapiff. I don't know if you're still in here, but I just realized. So are we just throwing ideas out, or do we submit them somewhere? We submit them through the Discord, which I keep forgetting to set up the bot to be able to. I might just be able to do it right now. Let's see. I just note that. Okay, yeah, this is. I'm rereading a message. But yeah, I think you definitely have the right idea with it. Okay, next thing we have is, so yeah, I would say, let me go to the Discord actually. Overall review. Either up the damage or lower the casting time to 1 action. Great spell. Cool. All right. And there we go. Okay, give me 1 second. I think I can set up this. Oh, whoops. Okay, I'm setting up the message text real quick so someone can easily get the Discord. There we go, and Might as well create some other things real quick as well. Okay, sorry for the temporary pause. If you guys don't mind testing it out, and someone do like /Discord and see if it works. But let me check this out real quick. So evocation cantrip, casting time 1 action, 120-foot range, verbal somatic, duration is 2 rounds. A swift, fast light flies and hits your target. The next attack to hit the target does an additional 3d4. Oh, sorry, it's exclamation point Discord. My bad. I baited you. I'm so sorry. The next attack to hit this target does an additional 3d4 necrotic damage. Let's see if it let me know if something popped up for you, Keith. The mark ends at the end of the next round. At higher levels, spell damage becomes 3d4 when you reach... Okay, so it's essentially like Guiding Bolt, where it kind of... Well, Guiding Bolts lets them do advantage, as it makes them do more damage. I actually like that idea a lot. Is 3d4... I don't think 3d4 is too powerful at all. Especially, like, if you're sacrificing your action to do this, that is fine. The only thing I would say is, like, I would, in a sense, to, like, not act like you're manipulating your players, but, sometimes with players, like, 3d4, wait, let me see the other ones. The mark is only temporarily lasting 2 rounds. Yes, which is why it's perfectly fine too. Especially because the caster is using their action to do it. And they themselves are not doing any damage with it, so that's why it's fine. But I was saying this 3d4 can give you a max of 12. So it could be easier. Like, you have different varieties of dice you could do, right? You could do 2d6 or 1d12 for the extra damage. Which can help you later on more than anything. Is instead of rolling 12d4, they can roll, well, I guess if it's divisible by 4 is what you're trying to do. But you can, like, change the dice to make them roll less. But it's entirely up to you. You could argue that 3d4 gives you a minimum of 3 damage, 1d12 gives you a minimum of 1, so 3d4 is technically more stable, but it's your choice how much you want them to roll. I personally don't do high dice like this. Like, I'll usually switch it to something else just because it takes a lot of time, and then I've had too many situations where they're like on the 7th dice or the 9th dice and like, wait, what did I roll? And then they have to start over, and it's like the most ridiculous thing. I wanted a minimum damage. Yeah, that's perfectly fine then. But yeah, this is good. Solid. Especially because you have it that they are not doing damage themselves. That's like the main caveat here. Did I lose the Discord? Oh my goodness, I accidentally closed it. Tag. Overall review. Great spell. Keep it that no damage is dealt. And it makes an amazing supportive spell. Time to pull out the phone dice, do a rating. I am angry at YouTube keeps shadow muting my message. No, does it really? What does YouTube shadow mute you guys with? I had no idea it does that. I'm usually pretty... I don't care too much to like moderate words at all, so it's not a feature that I like intentionally turned on. Oh, can I not drag this all the way to the top? Let's see. Nope. It basically blocks a message without ever telling you it does. Wow. I mean, good thing to have this tab here. That way, because you guys can see chat pop up on screen. So if you type something and it doesn't show up, keep in mind it is not me disabling your chat. That would be YouTube. So I don't know what it is you're putting as a keyword. I don't know if it's a setting I can turn off. But I don't know if you're still here, Keith. Did the Discord tag work? Or I think let me see if for myself it works if I type it. I don't think it will. Yeah, maybe not. Here's an example. The one with Reddit doesn't show up. After freeing it sounds cooler. The spell might be a bit OP. First thing you see a tsunami is OP Reddit. Damn, YouTube keeps shadow banning my damn, yeah. I guess so. Gabe, welcome. I see you here. Have you ever tried playing a solo session with ChatGPT as the DM? You know, that's just like a modern take on choose your own adventure books. I've heard of some people saying that they do that. And in case some of you don't know, there used to be these books that you would go and yeah, pretend this is a book. And you would read it and it would give you like a narrative story and it asked like what you wanted to do. And based on your choices, it would tell you to go to a page number. Right? So if you wanted to choose A, it's like go to page 67 or 24. And then like you go to 24 and it has like another narrative with the same questions. And then like you'll get an ending at the end of the book. It is wild to see what ChatGPT can do for D&D in the future. I know a lot of people, and I personally, so it's a pretty early stage of it, but a lot of people use ChatGPT to write up a quest for them. Like, hey, I need a D&D quest, give me one, and it will go to town and give it everything you need. And some people do it. I personally find the hobby of creating quests and giving that creative outlet to the game very fun, so I don't have a need for it. But I don't think you would really be able to distinguish if a DM is using ChatGPT or not, if they're good at it. So, I mean, whatever makes the players have fun at the end of the day, that's always what I'm in support of. Oh, Keith, you went in. Got an idea for the fracturing that could play out, but this one is just one scenario of many. It'll be numbered 1 through 7. Okay, so yeah, we're officially done with the homebrew review. We went 20 minutes over, but no big deal. We are jumping into our world building section, which is going to be very exciting. So we are not finished with the map for anyone who is here. We still have a lot of work with the map, but we decided that instead of finishing out the map, we are going to start world building and putting lore into it. Sorry, excuse me. I had to drink water. Oh, I remember those. The options are kind of dumb though. They were good at its time. I've never played, so I was thinking about trying it to go out after finding a prompt on YouTube to try and get some experience playing. Don't do it, Gabe. Trust me, it always forgets everything. I mean, that is true with ChatGPT. Is like, it's very volatile. If you say one wrong thing, it could crash the entire conversation. And it essentially just resets and breaks and shuts down. So it's not consistent. That's the biggest issue. Plus, as cheesy as it may sound, the best part about D&D is having the other players there with you. Like, kind of essentially having this collective imagination together. And so you kind of don't get the same experience. Whether you do a choose your own adventure, whether you play a video game, or if you do ChatGPT. Even Baldur's Gate 3, which is an amazing game. And is very much styled into D&D. Like, it is D&D as much as it can be a game. Is not the same experience. ChatGPT is like 3-year-old kid. I mean, one day. One day it'll probably get so crazy that it could. Absolutely. Okay, so Keith. The first one. The region of Bloodbear Lake pledged the protection of a priest in Felgrid. Okay, so Felgrid was over here, and essentially they're protecting a priest. Said priest was kidnapped by question mark. Regent is on the hook to act. Regent learns plot may have origins in the Fey Forest. Action might involve marching soldiers past a youngling, which might scare youngling troops into retaliation. Troop conflict would make Bloodbear Lake Regent seem lawfully arbitrary. Major faction soldiers get involved. Meanwhile, in Yule region, the south and the occupied, let's overtake our neighbors, both neighbors said. Okay, so I think from what I'm gathering from this is essentially a priest from Felgrid is... Their protection is the responsibility of the regent here. But they get kidnapped. And so the regent sends out forces near Youngling. Youngling sees soldiers coming up, so they kind of get in a conflict, and that starts spiraling everything out. Let me know if that's correct. But that is not... Okay, so that's already, like, a really good idea to start bringing the three factions in together. A quest that kind of steamrolls into this major conflict in a sense. The only thing is more or less correct, yeah. So I mean that's a really good setup. You don't want to like, so in these quests in general, like, okay, so over here you have Felgrid. Over here you have Bloodbear Lake. And over here you have Youngling, right? Actually, can I draw on my map? I've actually never tried that. 1 second. Is there a marker somewhere? Could I just use the brush tool? No, because it draws like onto the map. I don't think I can like... Okay, I'll have to delete it, but I guess I could do it like this. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, we just got... We're golden with this. Too big of a stroke size. Opacity good. Okay, can I change the color? White's fine. Okay, so... This is a good way to bring all three of these guys together, converging into like one overlying story. But this is where you want to keep it, because if you go any steps further, you're essentially guaranteeing things that happen in a quest. The idea as a DM is you set up the quest from the past and the present, right? In your past, you're writing what Felgrid's about, you're writing what Bloodbear's about, what Youngling's about, And in the present, you're writing about this situation. Now your players need to decide the future. And something that being kind of cool is like, hey, they have the option to de-escalate this conflict. Perhaps they rescue the priest and the priest gives them some information. And now they have to choose. Where do they bring the priest back to? Bloodbear, or do they bring it back to Felgrid? Based on which faction they bring it into can have other consequences. So yeah, I do like this idea a lot. Once you incorporate other, like, sort of a pebble that ends up causing a rock slide, it could be pretty fun. You just don't want to always go too crazy with it, because naturally it'll just very easily escalate to war. But yeah, I like it as like a good quest. So, we want to talk about major ideas though. Let's go to the notes. Main themes about the world. So, so we have the fracturing, which Keith brought up. These are essentially... Keith, you can put it in the Discord. It can get reviewed better, so I wouldn't forget. Oh, did you have something that got shadow banned? Man, that is a little frustrating. But hey, what do I know? But yeah, let us know if it's getting shadow banned. Okay, so we have something to talk about right now, and that's these massive weapons that are around the world. Obviously, if someone was to look at our map in a first glance, this is one of the first things they're going to look at. I decided, by the way, as we passively think about stuff, I'm going to just add forest into the areas so they don't look so empty. At least areas where I know forest will be. But anyways, it's time for us to spitball ideas for what we want the swords to be about. I know previously we talked about the idea of it being an ancient war, and these weapons are leftover relics of said war. Let's put the layer lower over there, and there we go. Alright. I put some characters who interact with it. You two keep shadow meeting me. I didn't do anything. I don't think you could turn off, but it is something that does it. I mean, I could try to look it up real quick. YouTube stream shadow banning chat. So apparently you can tell by leaving a comment, then hovering your mouse over the comment. If you don't see 3 red dots, it's an indicator of you being shadow banned. I don't know if this guy means a comment for a video or just in a stream, but yeah, posted it into the Discord right here. Okay. One scenario to spark a plot line. Okay, it's right here. Let me bring this out over here so you can see. Yeah, the picture is funny. So meanwhile, the south is occupied. Let's overtake our neighbors. Both neighbors said. Meanwhile, question mark, the plan. So I think one thing immediately that you said here is, where is it? We could have. Oh, you're saying Yule all the way over here. So are you saying that, sorry, this village over here, like this town, wants to take over both the neighbors over there? Let me know if that's what you were saying. Also, Keith, you can use the text cinema. This is more Shadowband stuff. Yeah, I wish that wasn't a problem. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Why are my keys not working? There we go. Place another village around this area. I don't like that they're all just like haystacks though. Yeah, that would be better. Get that out of here. Wait, Midnight, did you ever go over the White Puritans in the Broken World cult? If so, shall I remove the tag? I don't think I did. So keep it in there. Yes, I did not go over this. But this seems pretty relevant, so we can actually go over it right now because it is to do with the world building. Now, just one of the trio of settlements in Yule region. Get an idea of this be a good time as any to act. Yeah, I mean, I think that could work really well for the Valheim tribe. Right, because they're naturally going to be conquerors. And that's kind of what we decided as we set up the story a bit. So let's check out the White Puritans real quick. Sacred organization made from mages who believe that magic should only be used by those pure enough to control it. They believe in white being the purest of colors, and that in order to create a perfect utopia, all those who are not pure or full of evil should be purified or purged from existence. The other reason so many dragons are dead, the organization one day mysteriously disappeared, and unannounced the rest of the world managed to create a perfect world for their design, which from they plan to return. If you didn't tell someone that this was about D&D, it would sound so racist. Hello from Germany. Perfect timing. We are world building on our map, so one of our chat is here. Nothing has created a faction called the White Puritans. But welcome from Germany. I actually visited Germany like 2 years ago. I was only there for like 8 hours, but I walked around Frankfurt. It was actually pretty fun. Alright, the Broken World Cult. A cult known for worshipping the weapons that are stuck in the world. I love the drawing you made here. This is a 10 out of 10. Known as a cult to most, this very shady society of people who are believed to worship the weapons stuck inside the world. It's actually an organization dedicated to helping people from the shadows and defending against the powers from beyond. Most people's knowledge while trying to create smaller versions of large weapons that litter the world. People in this cult are part of a regular society for the most part. One party within the society is a party that have made a name as a failure. The Maximus Deficiency are part of this organization. Oh, it comes back to that. It isn't racist, I swear. Oh, you're not beating the allegations there. I do like this cult for worshiping the weapons. And using the weapons to essentially empower good people in the world to fight evil is a really cool idea. It's solid. Okay, so let's count how many weapons we've made. We have Big Warhammer in the north. So that's 1. We have the shield. That's 2. We have Katana. That's 3. This Katana doesn't stick out enough, I realized. And now everything is... Oh, it's going to be impossible to grab it. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. So that's 3, 4 with the axe, 5 with the lance, 6, 7. We have 7 weapons. Does the helmet count? It does not count as a weapon. The helmet is just the reflection that we said. Is supposed to show just how big the people that held the weapons were. And in fact, I kind of want to make the helmet look a little more buried. We're like stuck in the mountain. Let's grab this. We'll reduce the layer. Okay, set the layer to 2. Bring it here. Grab this mountain. Set that layer to 3. Bring it here. Yeah, that'll look good. It won't look too much like a helmet, but it at least looks like it's in it. Alright. The White Puritans were a server group who claimed all frozen biomes on the server. Oh! I mean, nothing. Would the White Puritans want to take over the white areas? Perhaps that is where their magic comes from. So useless for the boring old helmet? How dare you? This is a well-forged helmet. It's a great source of metal. Probably the world's largest steel mine. That could be a cool dungeon, though. What if the players go into the helmet? Let's make the helmet upside down for that reason. Right? And we can actually say there's something in the helmet that, like, people have built. If not a dungeon, at least, like, a city or something. Okay, so now I kind of want to... That'll look good. Yep, that looks better. Question, is there a skull in the helmet? There is not. We do have a skull, though, somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. The Devil's Palm. So. We also have a huge dragon skeleton right here. Another skeleton right there, under the water. Actually, now that I think about this, opacity needs to be a little lower. Let's put it in the darker area, probably. Yeah, that'll work. Right here. Cool. Okay, and we also have 2 giants over here. Man, every time I see the map is like not fully complete, I do kind of want to finish it. I did decide we should add sandworms. That would be cool. Hypothetically, if I was to just put random cliffs everywhere, let's see how it'll look. Sometimes you have accidental stuff, right? Hold up. Since the White Puritans like white, maybe they can be what push the Valheim people out of their homeland, but they don't know it. But as of current, they are just chilling in their homemade pocket dimension. You know, what we could do is that they've empowered whoever the chief of Valheim is, and essentially struck a deal with him. Hey, we're gonna give you this super magical weapon that we have made, and you are going to use it to essentially like further our agenda, but they could be manipulating him too. He doesn't know that he's like being played as a pawn for them. So if the players unravel that, then maybe they could actually convince the chief to actually be like, hey, you're being tricked, and he can go against the White Puritans in that sense, which can be also a cool way to diffuse it. Okay, so on the map, this used to be a massive just body of water, which is why we have the ship just laying here. However, but do they wear white? Yes, they do. Absolutely. That sounds very racist. I mean, you're the one who made them. Do you want them to have white pointy hats too? You're not beating the allegations. All right. I'm just messing with you. So I'm thinking that we could actually have a bunch of boats out here in the desert, because this area was once very tropical and very... so let's put boats everywhere. This will be cool. Archives. Oh no. I've been clipped. I don't want them to sound racist. A super magical weapon. Does the weapon control Valheim through its user? So I'm thinking that they gave the chieftain like a weapon imbued by magic that gave him heightened abilities, which allowed him to become pretty much a really powerful warrior, so that he essentially was able to push the people of Rahu away from the eastern side into the west and set up Valheim. We haven't quite decided what the White Puritans want. There could be a powerful artifact somewhere in the mountains that they want this chieftain to go find for them, or they just want the people of Rahu out of there for a reason. But yeah, as far as mind controlling him, why not Heimdall's horn? That could be really cool. If we want to play into a little bit of Nordic mythology, I actually like that idea a lot. So one thing we could do is that I like the idea of less than the chief is being mind controlled. He's just being manipulated without knowing it. And so he could be looking for that horn because he believes it will save his people in some way or form. And then again, we can like hash out the details as we write about it, but we're just getting the idea and the framework. But the White Puritans want that horn too. And so their plan is to have this chieftain grab the horn for them and then essentially take it from him. Yeah, they're just, I mean, very mean people who like the color white and magic. With the eyes of Heimdall, remember Heimdall was blind. Now we know where his eyes are. Ooh. It's a little bit of a darker twist, but I like it. Alright, so I really like to have a full map. It does bother me that it's not there. Look up desert stuff. Do you guys like the idea of this desert area being very rocky and kind of Grand Canyon-esque? Or do you think it should be more desert around here, like in the south? Actually, wait. I take it back. I think... What? I know there's mesas. There we go. Yeah, okay, these can work. 100%. Alright, we're getting rid of some of these stones. Okay. So... Oh, wait, these look really good. Oh, well, they're... Never mind, they're not as good as I thought. What is the darker twist you speak of? Instead of them looking for Heimdall's horns, it's looking for his eyes. As, Holiepa? I assume it's Holiepa. Hoilepa. It's a hard name. Don't judge me. Has said. So that it's a bit of a darker twist in the fact that, like, you are essentially... The artifact is, like, the body part of Hoilepa. Got you. That's a cool name. I like it a lot. It's not racist. All right, chill out. Only in D&D, when you give your chat the creation to do something, will they make a faction called the White Puritans. But yeah, sometimes, like, if you want to put a darker twist on your world, then you can have some artifacts be like actual body organs of certain creatures. And D&D already does this, right? Like, you have the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna. These are two artifacts that are very famous in the game. Wrong also in Minecraft. These are very popular items in D&D though. And you essentially, if you get the eye, you have to actually gouge out your own eye and put it in. And that's what we can do with Heimdall too. Okay, these colors need to change to a more brown. We'll cut the saturation. Brightness is fine as it is. Not sure if this works, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm thinking that this... I like the prosthetic arm and Ursat's eye better. Yeah, it could be cool. It could be really dope. I think Hoilepa had a really good idea with the eyes instead of the horn. That's Hoilepa. Okay, I kind of want to make this massive wall here. This can be something that's called just like the Great Divide. or like the barrier or something. And right here, we're gonna have mesas. Let's set up more. Oh yeah, we're cooking. Oh, too small. There we go. Just call me white's better for my sanity. I apologize, but it is also easier for me too. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. We've made up, I think this rock formation is actually way better. Also, it makes the sandworms look a lot cooler. Question is, can we make this look a little more deserty instead of just like red? Oh, I think we got it. Actually, can I rotate it out? So maybe they never actually see the head. I guess they're just sand dragons. Need to go? Oh, no worries. Have a great night. Take care, take care. Let's see. All right. Lower saturation and raise brightness a bit. Let's try it out. The brightness is at max. So if we just lower the saturation, yeah, that's actually good. It's a good sand. So we put it at max. It's a little too golden. But we put it like right around here. It looks like there's sand on it. Cool. What else can we put? These statues do look cool, but the issue is like it's eagle eye view instead of isometric in a sense, so like it won't look too well mixing the styles. See, but it would have been super dope to put like, I kind of want to put ruins. Anytime there's deserts or like any like canyon areas, I really like to put ancient ruins. It fits super well, and we even have some. Ooh. Okay, I kind of like the idea of it being right on this divide right here. I could probably find some statues to put. This used to be but one singular mega mesa before the sandworms carved things around for their own shade and convenience. Ooh. Keith. I love it. In that case, we gotta put more than one sandworm. Can we put one in the mountain somewhere, or will that look weird? Yeah, it can't work, sadly. Yeah, that won't work. We'll just have one for illustration. They'll know it exists. Okay, we're getting rid of the water idea. Unless, do we instead want to say that there were once water serpents that evolved to instead be sandworms? And that's why they look like water serpents? That could be a really good explanation. So, in that case, I think we move forward with having shipwrecks still out there. So we can put it right around here. Yeah, that'll be cool. Let's have one of the cities built on a shipwreck. Like it was a massive boat. Right over here, and then we can put buildings in there. That'd be cool. Alright, let's see what else we got. Make these smaller and make these bigger. This will look nice. Let's actually bring this here and put the houses up here. All right. Okay, what I want to see is if there's statues. There's one we can work with. Let's check out all the potential ones. We could put... The only issue with these is... There we go. I'm probably going to have to cut the saturation because I don't like the white and blue that's down there. You can't really change it. Okay, so... Could make them stones like this. We could place them right here on these. In that case... I can't really move the stone back. Ooh. What I need to do is actually change the shade here. So you're like a sandstone? What about just like a stone? None of these that look too good. I guess we could try this maybe if we color it differently. Right there. And if I come over here... Yeah, it's actually is better right there. What I want to do though is almost like, I wish I could put like a carving in here. Some way. What is this statue? Yeah, it's just like a random one. Maybe we could put that just anywhere. Make it look good. Oh, oops. Kind of like putting these little pillars up on each pedestal here. Okay, so you got some ruins here. We could easily add some of these gates. Oh, what if we add it into this somehow? Can it work? Man, this stuff. No, that won't work. Oh, I mean, okay, it's gonna be a cave entrance, but I don't know if that'll look good. No. What is kind of cool though is seeing these little things here. We could put them around as like burrow spots that the sandworms did go through. We could put them in rocks. Yeah, that could actually be kind of cool. What if I put the... Yeah, that didn't work as well as I wanted. But this does. Okay. Yeah, sadly the trying to put the runes in the wall doesn't work as nearly as well as I wanted it to. Let's go back to the desert palette. We could put one of these structures in here. First of all, this could be kind of cool. What happens if I take away all the color though? Nah, that won't work too well. No, it has to be that. Yeah, that looks dope. We're gonna keep that in there. Okay. Other than that, I think the only thing add is to add some kind of civilization there, but we can kind of more think about it a bit later. Okay. So, do you guys think that we should have lost civilizations like ancient ruin structures everywhere around the world, or should we just have it unique to this like sort of rocky desert section right here? Kind of like this canyon. I need to add more forest regardless. I'm gonna brighten up this forest a little more than usual. Ooh. Wait, we have this like tar that they added. What if we put a lot of tar fields around here? Can we maybe make the color look... I don't like that. Oh, that's just bad. Okay, maybe default is good, but what we need to do is decrease the size. Oh yeah, okay. We can put these tar fields, and this can be what sandworms essentially like almost feed on. Might have been a good lore, but it might mess up the story a bit. I mean, it is, we do have the weapons around there, so it could be our like cataclysmic apocalyptic event. I actually want the tar fields to be a little smaller instead of super huge. We'll get rid of that one right there. Okay, that actually does look kind of nice. But it's an idea. I mean, I kind of like to keep it in the desert of the fact that like if not many players are interested in doing sort of an archaeology thing, they don't have to. It's not like super prevalent, but it is there for the person who wants to do it. I want to go for like a bit of a darker blue here. It looks like space. You fall into this pit and find yourself cold, dark, unable to breathe, and among the stars. Ooh. Must be a darker blue. Yeah, it's turning more purple. It might be too dark of a blue. The tar pits, I mean, wait, do we have a swamp? I don't think we do. That might be as close as we get. We could make it swampy here. I've just have never had players actually enjoy a swamp. I had it in one campaign and they all absolutely wanted to leave. But we could add it. Alright, let's add the swamp. In that case, we want this grass to be a little swampier, obviously. So let's see. First of all, let's see if we type swamp, do we get anything? This lets us, so if we increase or decrease the size. Yeah, it doesn't really do much. So there's this right here, color. And then now what we do is we add the trees. Reset the colors and everything. Let's make it. No, honestly, it's fine as it is. Too big for the trees. Too small for that one. Art style doesn't match. Okay. Gonna have to do this one. I made a swamp race that I liked. There was a murder hobo race I think I put in the Discord. If so, we know where they live. Okay, now we go to the water. Yeah, I mean this kind of works. And just add it pretty much everywhere. Yeah, I don't know who would want to live here. It's always a miserable experience to put your party in a swamp. We'll see if it looks good though. And we'll probably add some dead trees too. Give me some dead trees. Yeah, it's like a single tree. I don't like that. Without spoiling too much, you can review it next stream or something. Basically, it kills people to eat and lives longer, as it can only live 5 years without human flesh. Ooh. Oh, and a rowboat? Yes, absolutely adding the rowboats. We're gonna cut away all saturation on these. Actually, we could. Yeah, there we go. Put some like almost like bramble around. That would look very nice. Very nice. Just add it random places. Okay. Could we grab these, but change the color? Oh yeah, what if we put these like almost like ichor, like these green ichor things? Yeah, this can be kind of cool. All right. What else can we do? Some more dead trees if we color them a little differently. Maybe just take away the saturation. Nah, this is fine as it is. If you could make it a pretty and magical swamp, I think the journey in it won't be as bad. Can you make it a pretty and magical swamp? I guess like Princess and the Frog style. It's just like everything's obviously cataloged and given to you to make it as swampy as you can, which usually means it's not as fun. Oh, actually, let me look up pirate, because there's one thing. Damn. What if I do wood? There's something specific I'm looking for that could work really well. Yes, this right here. This is what the town's gonna be built on. Like this. Oh, I mean, this looks really pretty, but sorry, drink some water. I kind of like this to use this art style for like the Fae and stuff like that. If we wanted to do that though, how could we? Let's see. We would theoretically change the water to be a little more magical. So if we go to the Fae water. First, color the water like this. And then what we would do is we would change it to blue. Like a dark blue. Go around here. Hold up, I'm about to sneeze. There we go. And then we set the opacity to half. And then kind of mix it in. Do you guys like this a little overall more? Although, are you going to use the Feywild inside the campaign? I kind of had the idea of that with over here. It's this like little Twilight Forest area. Where the elves live, but this could look kind of cool. The next thing we'd have to do is remove all the trees. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Okay, we'll stick with this then. I'm very akin to it because I've done swamp once and it did not work well. So the next thing to do is to add magical trees. So let's go to the trees, look for one that could look relatively magical. There are these ones. The issue is they're once again isometric or bird's eye view, so can't really put them. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. Okay, take like a 1 minute break. I will be back. Think about what you want to add to the swamp. Your beat. We're back. Maybe add some pink water with 90% opacity to make it sparse like dots. That could be a very solid idea. It's about pink, opacity at 90. And then just sprinkle it around in places. The opacity is a little too high. I would probably lower it to like... let's try like 30. Contrast so much. Oh, it's because I'm messing with the softness. I'm dumb. I was like, man, that opacity's not changing. Yeah, that's too low. Let's go to like 0.5. Too low. Maybe if we make it smaller. The issue with pink is it's so... It contrasts really strong. I guess I could try to lower the contrast on it. Maybe even pink and blue. Green looks a little like acid now that I think about it. So we could get rid of the green. I mean, based on the picture you sent, it's a little more blue and black. Like a dark blue. So let's go back to the Feywater. This is grass. Oh, there's Fey lights over here. Okay, so this is what we do actually. We go back to the water and we just draw it as it is. And then we're gonna add the lights here, and that theoretically should light up. Yeah, there we go. In that case, I'm actually a fan of making a very, very dark blue. The Crafter, welcome. Nice to see you here. Hope you're having a great night. Okay, so let's do a very dark blue. So we got a color, hue. I think with the Feywater asset, it never really gave us a dark blue. Unless we cut the saturation. Okay, that looks bad. We're gonna find a different water. Let's do... Should I grab this one? Oh, there we go. And then we can lower the brightness. Okay, I think... Ooh, that looks terrible. Yeah, that looks awful. Like this hue, B... Oh, this is such a... Can I just code that sequence in? For a second I thought we had like a really good one. What if I hypothetically... No, that's way too dark. A little bit of saturation? No. Okay, none of these are... I think it's the issues of the water source itself. This might be able to work. I'm trying to get like essentially as dark water as I can without making it pure black. Because that part looks very, very weird in that sense. Okay, I think we go here. Maybe use 1% opacity just to layer it over many times. I mean, that could work. Let's go to like 0.27. And I've done dark water before. Like this is what we need. What do we do here? It's been ages. I really wish they had a dipper option in this website. It frustrates me so much that they don't. Rich water. Maybe this might work. Water blue dark. Okay, this might work. Maybe. Because the idea is we're having this darker water. We can actually afford to brighten it up a little. Yeah, okay. So we have this water, and then we go add the Fey texture to it. Where was it? The Fey lights. And then we could choose which colors we want to add. There we go. That's how we make it magical. And then we can mix around with the colors too. Probably want to decrease the size. Yeah, okay, we got it. Let's add a little bit of green. Some white. All right. Pretty swampy. Yeah, we got it. Finally. It only took a bit, but we got it. All right, so now we can go add our trees, and we're trying to add some magical trees to replicate it. We hypothetically did this, and then chose to switch the saturation around. Again, the only issue is the art style is a little cartoony, so it doesn't mix too well with the rest of the world. Also, I have to place these individually, which kind of sucks. Large trees with a dark blue tint. Yeah, that would work really well. I'm thinking about grabbing the... Where is it? We could grab the swamp trees and then swap the colors around. So if we go to dark blue, can we get it a little? No, that dark blue is fine. Like a deep dark blue. For these trees, that's as dark blue as we can get, unless maybe we Cut the brightness. Yeah, actually that'll work better. Let's cut the brightness on it. Could kind of do it like that. Probably increase the contrast slightly. And that's the... As far as dark blue, yeah, that'll look good. That looks gorgeous. Are the trees a little too big? They might be. Let's see. Oh no! We had the brightness right there, and we messed it up. We goofed. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Trees right about there. Yeah, that's a good size. Actually, let's... Oh, whoops. Okay. Let's create it like a belt here. Connect it, and then another one right here. We'll fill this entire area with forest. And then go back to this area where we will have our towns. Change the hue on this. We essentially want it to match like the wood nearby, if we can, because it'll be made by that wood. Trees look cramped, so what we can do is kind of grab certain segments and push them out. I found that to be a very nice way to like randomize where you have the gaps and make it a little more natural rather than like deciding where it is. You essentially create a cluttered mess and then grab certain sections and like delete it. So like, there we go. That way you have little gaps, and then we can like get into detail if we need to. So I like the idea of putting towns here. What kind of houses can we put? It's a little bit of a fairy tale, so can I grab this and change the color on it? Oh, yes. Okay. What we do is we grab this and we make it massive. Grab these houses. Grab the bench, put it at like 1. Maybe put small islands as swamps. It's not just all water, but overall I would like to live in that swamp. Maybe put small islands as swamp. I'm slightly confused. Do you mean like have landmass and then like only some areas are water? You have just a little bit of land everywhere, almost like islands. Yeah, sure. So, when we come here, let's see. We have the Fey grasslands we can add. So let's come over here. We theoretically add like, that one doesn't work too well. What if we default it all? That's like red. I am back. Welcome back. Sorry, my new freezer is being delivered. I hope it's a good one. Gray dirt? That doesn't really look like dirt. It's a small one. That's good. Okay, so the issue with this is so I don't think adding grass or like little islands would work as well as if we put little like wooden rafts as little islands like we do for the major towns here. I kind of like that idea a little more. So we could kind of put these small sections as like almost little outposts and then have like the main ones as the large ones. If that makes sense. What I am a fan of is that the water itself is not tremendously deep. So if like the average human was to go in it, it's like waist high. So if they're a small creature, they will be submerged. If they're a large creature, they're pretty fine. But it is enough to justify bringing a boat over. Oh my god, there's nutcrackers. Little toy soldiers. Okay, so... Okay. I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick. But... we are going to add some villages here. This other one, I do want it to contrast in different colors. So I am going to put some actual wood that they could have imported. All right, 1 second. All right, we're back. It is pretty perfect to ambush players with their guard down due to the beauty of swamps. You could use ugly swamp monsters. Exactly. You call them nutcrackers, but they prefer to be called wood golems. That could actually be kind of cool. Damn, were they called nutcrackers? What was the item called? We lost it. We'll find it again in a second. Okay, so... I think we give this thing a little bit of like, kind of almost like a Tarzan storyline so far, which is, could have people native to the swampy from this section, and then this is kind of more of a colonial type of civilization. So main traffic is going to be through here. So in that sense, we kind of want to use the forest to probably cut off this civilization, or this town. We're gonna remove a couple of trees just to create some gaps and not make it look cluttered. That was a fluff ball. This is where we could be a little more surgical with removing some things. Alright. Monster skill. This monster is so hideous that the group must make a constitution check or they throw up on the spot. Man, that's... Way to hurt the monster in the feelings. Not gonna have a good day after that. Okay. What were you trying to do again? Oh, boats. Like rowboats. Are these all bird's eye view? That's gonna be very unfortunate. Maybe we could use these ones. Yeah, this is bird's eye. If I look up ship instead. Damn you. Yeah, we'll have to use that one. Yeah, no worries, it's not the worst. Alright. Grab this. Rotate it slightly. Bring this out here, and then we just have one more boat to look like it's docked here. That's just the bad boating, though. Yeah, okay, that works. Okay. Back to the town. There we go. Is it better if I just add this to it? Now let's theoretically remove this. Oh yeah, that does look nicer. Okay. Oh, just throw more insults, make them count as monstrosities. Man, you guys are really brutal with them. Could do is add some destroyed stuff over here. Actually, if we go to those ruins again and grab the ones with the sunken houses, yeah, that'll look good. And then we can change the color. Actually, we'll just cut saturation so it looks like old stone. We can place these around different places. There we go. Okay, if I look up monster, does things come up? Yes, it does. So what what if you had an eye underwater? That could be kind of cool. Cut the opacity down. Nah. Skill set you should use as a DM: the bad language skills, goblin and common. Bring me big broom, so no go broom. Oh, bring me big boom, so not go boom. Goblin and goblinish, thank the gods I finally found somebody I can properly talk to, you see. Oh, so like goblins to goblins. Like goblin in goblin language is actually very formal, but to everyone else it sounds like... Thank the gods I finally found somebody I could properly talk to, you see. I've studied the alchemical biochemistry and experimental arcane theories. I have no time to learn the common tongue. That's actually a great idea. I like it a lot. Now, let's not add the ice. I don't want to make this place creepy. We want to make it beautiful, right? What we could do, though, is have these massive monster eggs around certain places. And what if that's what these people are essentially harvesting to go sell? And that could be a cool quest for the players, is essentially trying to protect the eggs. I kind of like that a lot. So let's grab these eggs, put them around, change the colors around. Click that one away. Oh, the music stopped. There we go. It's so beautiful it becomes creepy. Exactly. How could something so gorgeous? And then we could put a cracked egg. Oh no. Actually, we could put several cracked eggs. Now let's do one cracked egg. One massive cracked egg. And if you really want to mess with your players, the cracked egg actually means absolutely nothing. But you just forever make them think that there is something out there. Not that. Yep. We need to borrow this. Borrow that. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Can we change the shape of the waterfall? Yes, we can. This one seems a little better. So let's get rid of this one. Oh no! I gimped. I goofed. There we go. Okay, so we can put this waterfall instead. And this could be like a nice little cool place. Who knows? They might sink into it. Drag this down just a little bit. go. All right. The eggs could be seal, chrysalis, bacillus. No evil entry can go near them without pain. That's kind of what I'm like. The nice part is you can just make them eggs and make them anything you want them. It's always the coolest part. Okay, so if we go back to monsters, I think, yeah, I don't think there was anything really to add else. Unless we really want to make it creepy. We grab this, set it to 0, set its opacity down. We could do that. That's if we want to make it creepy. But no. All right. I kind of want to put some more customizability in that one town over there. I can make anything out of eggs. I choose an omelet. Fantastic choice. An omelet is the best breakfast to have. It's so good. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else really to add to the town just yet, but we have made 577 changes. We do have to name these at some point. But we have overall done a pretty good progressive time. Let's go ahead and save, and that will be our time to call it, because it is 2 in the morning for me right here, so I'm going to have to call it a night. But this many dragon skeletons, are the dragons the reason why life exists on this world? They are not, but we haven't fully decided. One thing we do know is they have been killed to some extent. So we have a dragon skeleton right here in the ocean, which is absolutely massive. So we're gonna kind of play around with it more. We're gonna figure out the lore together and write it out. But thank you for the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody who has also tuned in, thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Oh, sorry, I got a text message. I hope you guys had a great time. Feel free to join the Discord. I don't think it's sent, so I'm gonna have to fix the bot, but in case anybody needs it, I'm going to post it right now. There we go. That is where you can follow up on when I go live. You can submit your own homebrew. We can review it on stream. But have a great night, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And as always, enjoy a nice and amazing cup of coffee. I'll see you on the next one.